What is up, mathletes? Welcome back to another episode of Math with Dr. Math, and today we're going to show you how to save 15% or more on car insurance. No? Fractions? I guess we're looking at the LCD today. Alright folks, so today we're going to be looking at how to find the least common denominator of fractions. Alright, so before we dive in there's some skills that we need to gain before we're able to do this successfully. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's take a look here. Alright, so I have these tables here, and these tables are going to help you find, before we jump in and find the least common denominator, we're going to look at how to find the least common multiple, which uses the same idea. And you're going to see that this is actually pretty easy. Actually, it's so easy, even a caveman could do it.
Oh, no, not cool. I did not know you were there. I didn't know.
All right, so here's the idea. All right, what we're going to be doing is we're going to find the multiples of the two numbers that they give us. And later on, we'll look at 3 numbers, 4 numbers. The idea remains the same, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take these numbers here and we're going to find the multiples of 4 and 5. So I'll do 4, let's do it in black here. And we're going to look at the multiples of 5. So when we say multiples, essentially all that means is that you're going to be multiplying 4 and 5 times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, times 5. All right, so that's the first step. Let's find the multiples. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 6 is 24. So each one of those numbers, those are multiples, all right? I'm gonna do the same thing for 5. So 5 is easy, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 2 is 10, then we have 15, 20, 25, and 30. So those are the multiples of 5. And when we're looking for the least common multiple, right, we're trying to see what's the smallest multiple that both of these lists, right, have in common. So looking through this, you could probably see that the smallest number they both share is this 20. So let me go ahead and circle the least common multiple. And for a lot of these numbers, they might have many common multiples, right? But what we're interested in is the smallest number from both of those lists, right? What's the least, the smallest multiple that they share in common? And that's what we're after, because this idea here is going to help us when we're looking for the least common denominator. We're going to see the idea is exactly the same. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do one more here. And I have some problems here that you're gonna practice, all right? So this one I'll let you do. And so you're gonna find the least common multiple of 4 and 6. And then you're gonna comment down below, let us know what you think it is. So let's do 6 and 8, all right? So let's do that one more time. So we're gonna find the least common multiple. So I'm gonna have my list of 6's. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and 36. So each one of those is a multiple of 6. And then I need the multiples of 8. So the multiples of 8 are going to be 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 48. So those are the multiples of 8. And so when we look at this, you got to be careful. All right, so we're looking to see what's the smallest number, right, that they share in common. What's the smallest multiple that they both share? And we could see here the smallest multiple is 24. So let me go ahead and circle that. So 24 is the least common multiple. All right, and so here we have some more practice for you. And so you're gonna do this with 3 and 5. And some of you are gonna need to make a list just like we're doing here. And others that really like multiplying in your head, you could probably end up doing this in your head. Either way, it's okay. All right, so that's the first thing we need to get comfortable with. All right, the next thing we're going to get comfortable with. So before we do this, make sure that you smash that like button, subscribe. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at this example. All right, so what we do is we have these two fractions. And these two fractions here, I need to first find the least common denominator now, which is the same idea of the least common multiple, but now we have fractions, so we're looking for the least common denominator. But essentially, right, you take these two numbers, the 2 and the 10, just like we've done over here, and we're going to find the least common multiple of 2 and 10. So let's do that. All right, so we got the 2 and we have the 10, and let's write out all the multiples. So 2, we got 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Then we got 10 and 12. And for 10, we have 10, 20, 30. And actually, once you see the least common multiple, if you see it right away, there's no need to finish the list. Right? This is just one of many ways of finding the least common multiple. All right, so we see that they both share a 10, right? That's our least common multiple. So our goal, right? Your goal is for each one of these fractions, look how I set it up here, is to end up with a 10 in the denominator. So look at our setup here. What you're asking yourself is this 2, what am I gonna have to multiply 2 by to get that 10, right? Because we want the denominators to be the same. That's our goal. Well, what's nice about this chart is, look, we multiplied 2 times 5 to get that 10. So we're going to multiply the 2 times the 5. But we can't just multiply the bottom by 5. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So we're going to also multiplying the numerator by 5. And what we are doing is 5 divided by 5, this is 1. We're multiplying this fraction by 1. And this is a tricky way of, when you multiply by 1, you're not changing anything. So we haven't changed the numbers at all. So this is the reason why you do it. But just remember, whatever you multiply times the bottom, you do the same exact thing to the top. All right, write that down. All right, let's do the same thing with this 10. So what was our least common multiple? It was 10. So notice, I don't have to change this one. So whenever that happens, we're going to multiply by 1 because nothing changed. All right, so here we go. Now let's do the multiplication. 2 times 5, that gave us a 10. 1 times 5, that's going to give us a 5. So this is our new fraction that we're going to work with. And then we have 10 times 1 is 10, and then 7 times 1, which is going to be 7. So this is the new fraction. And before we look at how to add these, our big goal, right, the thing that's going to take the longest is how do I get these fractions to have the same denominator? And that's what we just did. You just did the hardest part of the problem, all right? So let's try this again with these two fractions, all right? So again, our goal is to get these denominators to be the same, all right? So let's go ahead and let's do that. So we're looking at 6 and 8. So we're looking at that 6 and 8. So let's go ahead and find the least common multiple. The least common multiple of 6 and 8. So let's go ahead and write down the multiples of 6, just like we did before. So 6, 12, 18, 24, and I'm actually going to stop right there because I remember from our earlier practice problems, the least common multiple of 6 and 8 was 24, right? Because for 8 we have 8, we have 16, 24. So now we have the least common multiple right there. All right, and now what do we do with this? Our goal is to make both of these denominators turn into 24. So the 6, we're going to multiply 6 by what to get 24? Well, 6 gets multiplied by 4. So that's what we're going to multiply times the top and the bottom, right? Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. And then this 8, we're going to multiply 8 by 3, right? We're going to multiply 8 by 3 to get that 24. All right, so now let's go ahead and finish this off. Let's multiply 4 times 5. That's going to give us 20. So that's our numerator, the number on top. And then we have the 4 times the 6, which is going to give us 24. That's our number on the bottom. And then we have 3 times 3, that's our number on top. And then we end up with 8 times 3, which is 24, which is our number in the denominator. And now when you look at these, check it out. Now they both have the common denominator. So now you have found the least common denominator, which is 24. And in fact, now your fractions, now I'm going to be able to do some addition and some subtraction because I did the hardest part of this problem. All right, so before you leave, I want you to try this problem right here. Find the least common multiple and comment down below. Tell us what you got. And don't forget, folks, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Peace.